Okay, so let's talk about the death process from my perspective, okay? I just want to share an experience because I was speaking to a friend of mine today who has lost a family member, and she just wanted to know what the process is. She was very worried about how the death experience happened. And you know, the first thing I want to say to you, your soul is so reverent. And the death process is a must from this avatar that we use to experience this earth plane, okay? I'm gonna turn my fan off. It has a background. And because of that, I want you to understand how beautiful your soul is. No matter how the death process happens, no matter how terrible it may seem, and before my NDE and before opening up where I can perceive these things, I used to be extremely devastated too. And the human part of you will be devastated. But I came back more wanting people to know and to understand what we call the death process because there's so much fear attached to it. I lived the better part of my first 30 years of life worried about how I may die. I don't want to die suffering. I don't want to get this C1. I don't want to get this disease. I don't want to be in an accident. And I was very caught up and very fearful about it, worried many hours, many days. I had cancer scares before and I was devastated. Instead of living life, I was living life preparing for a death because I thought it was a finality. Do you know what I mean? And when I had my NDE and realized that the death process to the angelic realm, to our extraterrestrial beings, to the spiritual realm, it's not a finality, it is an expansion. And it took me a while to understand it because I was like, how is it an expansion? You don't exist anymore. However, when you find yourself opening up to a process where you understand that when your spirit leaves this physicality, which is this body, this vessel, this avatar, call it a Ferrari, whatever you want to call it, you don't cease to exist. Where the challenge is us as human beings. When we remain in the body, we believe that we are constrained or contained to the body, but we're more spirits than we are bodies. Our spirits are expressing itself within the body on earth because this is the only way the spirit can express itself on the earth to experience the limited things that we choose to experience: the love, the hate, the greed, the hurt, the crying, the this, the joy, the ecstasy, all these things. The spirit gets to have fun doing this. The avatar of the body has a expiration date. And from a soul level, before we choose this incarnation, we kind of charted this out like a map. Okay, at this age, we're going to do this, do that, do that. This is what I want to experience. However, when you do get here, going to the process of whatever your death or your exit point might be, you're just supposed to be having fun. So when I ask my guides, so what is death? How do I explain death to a human being? Despite religion, culture, whatever, and I never forgot, my guide said to me, imagine yourself walking on sand. I think that's why I love my feet in the sand. And I visually started to see this beautiful sand, but it wasn't sand color. It was like I don't even know how to explain it. It was like walking on fluorescent, maybe a lilac-y color sand. It was so beautiful and shiny. And I could feel my feet through the sand. And my guides explained to me that this is the life experience. You can kick the sand, you can wiggle your toes in it, but this is the life experience your soul is having here in this avatar, in this vehicle. And when the death, which we perceive as death, comes, all you do is just drop your clothes, which is this body, and you step into the water. They call it infinite life. You expand, you become more, because when you go into the water, You become one with that which is all. You become love. And I don't mean the love that we talk about here. I mean unconditional love and light. And you just become one. And I never forget that. And I do it a lot. I love to feel my feet in the sand because I just get to close my eyes. And I realize, oh my gosh, this earth experience, no matter how long we get to live within this vehicle, and most times the choices is from what we decide to do, how we treat ourselves, yes? It's really meant to feel like going on the beach one day when you're at your most beautiful self and you feel like just, let me feel it one step at a time. It's so beautiful. Oh, I can go sideways. I can dance. I can just wiggle my toes. I can make a sandcastle. This is the life experience about expanding and learning, exploring and choosing to love you. And I know I'm going on about this, but I want you to understand how an angelic being sees life. So you have a family member who's going through something now and you perceive it as so hard, and their physical body is going through pain or rejection to medication, and it's not easy to experience. But while you're experiencing that, I don't want you only to look on the struggle. I want you to try to pause while you're going through this with your family members, with your loved ones too. Within those moments when they are out of pain, when you look in their eyes and you see the light that they are, I want you to soak that up, and I want you to feel the essence of what they represent and understand the lesson that that soul is teaching you something. I want you to be strong. I want you to experience life, not to go through this process the way I'm going through it. I want to teach you this. This is the love that I'm leaving back here. I want you to feel what they're giving to you. And our body is such super intelligence. If we don't go through the process of, what we perceive as, oh my God, it was a terrible death. Your body is so super intelligent that you can choose to lie down if it's your time, and your body simply starts to shut down the way it needs to, in the order it needs to, for your soul to exit. There's something else I need to tell you. Show me. Most passings, the soul exits the body before what you perceive an impact is. The soul exits the body before you say, oh my gosh, I had a terrible death. They really not really do. The soul exits the body. Remember, you always have guardian angels. You always have people around you. And things happen sometimes. You say, oh my gosh, I almost died. Well, it almost happened. And it was deflected because your guys were there and say, no, not this minute. You need to be here for another day, another week, another couple of years, because there's a lesson that you need to teach or somebody, or there's somebody who needs to teach you a lesson, or there's something that needs to be exchanged between you and someone, you and something. There's a change that needs to come from this experience, because everything that happens is a learning lesson. So if you're going through this, if you're going through grief and right now, yes, allow your body to do it, because otherwise you will be trapping within your body's energy that you don't want to remain there. So if you need to cry, cry. If you need to scream, scream. And as you're doing that, find moments between to pause and reflect on the love that this person, this beautiful soul, represented. And try also to see the lessons that they wanted to teach you. See the gifts that they gave to you. Every time you held their hands, try to pause for a moment and feel what they gave to you. They give you something that's forever. Try not to grieve too long, because on the other side, they want you to know that they're okay. Oh my gosh, they do. Oh wow. Okay, so I guess I should share this with you. I'm looking at a painting here. This painting, it was done April 2, 2023. This was a very good friend of mine. Bob passed away this day. This was somebody that was in my life for years and years and years. He was like the uncle, the cool uncle. And I was not in Jamaica when he passed away. However, for some reason, before I heard that he passed away, I was seeing him. And let me tell you why I was fearful and what happened to me, what opened me up to this death experience, why I'm I'm excited, and I love the analogy of walking from the sand to the water. Understand this. The physical you will grieve, will cry. I cried for days because when I saw him, it was as if he wasn't going to the light. He was not a religious person. He didn't believe in, our stuff. And I remember we always say to him, we're praying for you. Our prayers are keeping you, because he wasn't a religious person. That's okay. However, I've never condemned it to say you're going to hell, because I never saw things that way. I always knew he's still a good person. He's a good person. And I remember I heard that he passed away, but for some reason, before I heard he passed away, that night there was Archangel Michael and there was Bob. And I remember I was there, and in the dream I was crying. I said, damn it, go to the light. And I didn't know what was happening. I said, go to the light. Just trust the light. Just trust the light. Because there was a fear within the dream. If you don't go to the light, you're going to be trapped here, living this life in a cycle, and there's more for you. Just go, just go, just go. And I never forgot. I said, Archangel Michael, please take him to the light. And I woke up, or somebody called me and told me that he passed away. And I cried. And I cried because that was the emotion, because I realized that dream that I had the night before, or that very night, it was actually his spirit. It was actually his soul. It was actually a call, or it was actually for me to witness. Maybe it was just for me to witness this death process from somebody who was so close to me. And then I had this knowing, oh my gosh, so this is it. This is why there's some spirits that are still here, because they choose not to go to the light, not because they don't want to, but the minute you exit the physicality, you immediately know everything, every choice, everything that you've done while you were, within this realm, within this vehicle. And you're the ones who really start to judge yourself. And then all of a sudden, this light is permeating with so much love. Sometimes a spirit may feel, I can't go to the light because God will never accept me, especially somebody who was never religious. So this was the case with him. But when I perceived in the dream that he went to the light, the following night I had this dream. And he's one who's always saying the F-bomb. And I don't think I can say it on here, but I never forget. I saw the back of him, and he had his khaki shorts on, because he always had shorts, and he had this blue shirt on. And I saw him walking as if he was walking on this big lawn, but it was this golf course. And he used to play golf. And I was like, where's he going? And he turned around. And when he turned around, his face was the youngest that I perceived him as. It wasn't the face that I knew him. It was the youngest. But he had the same clothes on. And he was trimmer. He wasn't, he was trimmer and younger. And he said to me, he said the F-bomb. But he said it always in a cool way. He was like, that's how he would say. He would say the F-bomb and stretch it. If I knew this were so good, I would have come a long time. I was like, what are you talking about? He said, I can do anything I want to do. And when I looked over when he turned his back, he was walking away, and he had this golf club in his hand. It was like he was going to play golf. And over to the side, there was this house, almost like a replica of his house in Jamaica. And I was like, oh my God. I've never seen him again since then. But every time I think about him, this is why I did this painting. Because he just disappeared into a light orb. And it was the most beautiful light I ever seen. And I love that, because when I perceive spirits, you become light again. You just become light. You become energy. The body doesn't matter. There's no sickness. There's nothing that limits you. And I just saw him as this. This does not describe what I saw, but it was like a rainbow of light. And as the silhouette body of him disappeared, that's how I envisioned him. He just went there. So every time I perceive him, he's on this bloody golf course. So allow yourself to grieve, yes, but not for too long. Because know that your family members, whoever they are never just gone. They just change forms, and they have become more than you can ever imagine. And when you become energy again, that love, There's no conditionality to the love. And even if you never got along, they don't have those feelings anymore. They don't remember anything. And yes, there's some spirits that has to go to spiritual rehab, like I saw when I had my NDE. But once you're open-hearted, you're not going to doom and gloom judgment unless you expect it. If all you sit and think of now in your life, in your earth life, is, oh my God, there's going to be brimstone and fire, and yes, that's what you're going to experience. Because it's what you're focusing on. It's what you want to experience. And you're going to get what you want. But if you have anyone who's going through this now, or if you're going through this yourself, don't limit the energy that you are. Don't limit the love that you have between yourself and this person to become final when the breath leaves this body. Because the breath is not just air, it's consciousness. When a person dies, the consciousness that represents their spirit, who they are, it leaves this vehicle. It must, because the vehicle has expired, not them. So there's no finality to them, and they expand and they become more. And I ask you, have fun with this. Have fun with your spirit self. Because when you stop grieving and you allow yourself to just perceive the love that they are, every time you start to think about them, they're right there. Have fun with it. Say to your mom, your partner, your loved one, your child, whoever's going through this process now, say, listen to me. Come back, okay? Come back as a red bird. Come back as a butterfly. Be the wind beneath my wings. Allow yourself to perceive them as the magnitude of a powerhouse that they have become within the death experience that we grieve for, and we say they're gone forever. I want you to understand the reason why we don't remember this is because death was commercialized. It was not something that was celebrated anymore, but my memories show me that there was a time where death was celebrated. You were sent out to be one with the water. I have a QHT session, and there were 2 lifetimes that I became one with the water. I just chose, and I became one with the water. It was a celebration. It was a knowingness of becoming more. Okay, I've had enough of this lifetime. And there was another time I just became one with the earth, back with Gaia. I just became one. And there was a period of time when it just became commercialized. And then there are these things that we now revere, and this big thing that we grieve over, and we have to, if a person cannot be buried, or they cannot go back to the elements of that which you are unless you have money to spend to do it. Okay, so that's what you choose to experience now. But remember, within all of that and the grieving and the missing of having the physicality of a person, the greatest hug you will ever receive is the hug of a loved one who's just here. And understand this, your spiritual team just became more powerful. My grandmother, who passed away when I was so young, she chose to be one of my guides. You have no idea how many times my grandmother from the other side has saved my life. She saved my daughter's life. She dreamed me 1 month before my daughter was due to come. I did not have contractions. I wasn't feeling any discomfort, but she gave me a dream that night. And she showed me this baby in this orb, in this beautiful light. And when I looked, she pointed, when I looked, there was a rope wrapped around this baby's neck. And I started to panic in the dream. Why is nobody taking the rope from the baby's neck? And she had her hands, I'm holding the phone, she had her hands in a prayer. And that's what was saving the baby from, dying. And I got up out of my dream that morning after 3:00 a.m. And I never forgot. I said, I have to go to the hospital. And everyone thought I was crazy. You're not due for another month. And I said, I have to go. My grandmother saved me. When my daughter was born, although I went through the whole process, the video is somewhere else. When my daughter was born 11:45 that Saturday morning, you know how she was born? Exactly how my grandmother showed me. She had the umbilical cord wrapped around her neck, and her hands were in a prayer. She has a scar right here, right now from that. And it was from me understanding that I have become more with the death of my grandmother. She hasn't left me. She has amplified my spiritual team, my guidance system. My GPS has been heightened. My intuition has been heightened because I've allowed myself not to grieve anymore, but to accept that, oh, Nana, you're here. Ty is here with me. And that's how I want you to start trying to perceive the love that your loved ones represent. Some of us, as soon as our loved ones go, we find that we're the most successful because they have allowed your spiritual team to now redirect you to the places that you need to go, to hear the things that you need to hear, to meet the persons that you need to meet. Your spiritual team has been amplified. You're a powerhouse. This is how I want you to look at it if you can. And if you can't for right now, go through your grieving because your body needs it. Because at the same time, you don't want to trap the energy of grieving within your body because it won't know what to do with it. So get it out. But every time, try to find a moment to pause. Look at the picture. Look at something that they used to do that was funny. And if you have somebody who's going through the death process now, do videos with them and let them give you wisdom. Because sometimes it's what's going to bring you through. They give you wisdom that comes back to you after they're gone, that really strengthens you, that really redirects you. Have fun with them so you can have these moments to look at and laugh with what they represented. And it calls them in even stronger to you, where you can perceive them, where you can see that butterfly that you said, you got to be the butterfly. Give me coins. Give me whatever. And they will be stronger around you. But however, if you're grieving, your loved ones will be there, and they will be there, but they understand they can't perceive you, and they don't want to see you struggle, and they don't want to see you in pain and in grief, and so you won't be able to perceive them. But sometimes they take years and years and years to get somebody to get a message to you to say, tell her I'm okay. Tell her I'm playing golf like my friend did. Tell her I'm having the time of my life because I never ended. I became more. This is heavy. My guides are around me like crazy because I think this was important for somebody. This is and always will be important for somebody to understand this. I didn't know this either. There's so much stories that we can tell. But because I didn't know this before, I want you to know. And if you feel it in your heart, you know it's true. There's no finality to death despite what any text, any story, any history, any ancestry says. There's an amplification. There's an expansion of more. This is where we're limited within these bodies, where we cry so easily and hurt and don't listen to our guidance. So, take your time and breathe. Remember the essence of love that they represent and keep it on. Keep talking about them. Keep memories of them. Have something that's a keepsake. They will tell you at some point, I appreciate that thing that you did. I appreciate that thing that you said at my funeral, because you better believe they're going to be there. And said, oh my gosh, that's what you said. That's so cute. And you may feel pulsation or a touch or a wind where there isn't no wind. Just acknowledge, wow, mama, wow, dad, wow, son, wow, love. Thank you for that acknowledgement. And they will become excited and they will give you more and more and more. It will strip the fear out of you of this death. It's just a word that we came up with to put fear into people. So fear not anymore. Love them with all your might. Let go of the conditions that you place on people, on your loved ones. Just love them because they're a part of you, okay? No matter what they did, no matter how much hurt, no matter how much cussing, your family, your friends, your neighbors, just love them just because. And record and document and witness the greatness of what life represents, okay? And if you're going through your own process now, don't be scared. You're going to be worried about the family who's here. Just give them all the love you have right now. It will be enough in time, okay? But there's more. There's more and more. And life always goes on. It never stops. Enjoy life. Enjoy life. Can I say it again? Enjoy life.